Major confusion at a military base located in Prince George's. Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, June 30th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas. We'll tell you about that story in a moment. But first, thanks to tips from the community, police arrest a suspect in connection with the triple murder in Forestville. 24-year-old Lawrence Rogers Jr. is charged with fatally shooting Carlina Gray, Jan Parks, and Alan Rowlett. According to police, the murders happened on June 24th at around 9:30 in the evening in the 3100 block of Orleans Avenue.
When we finally got those surveillance videos over the weekend, we knew that was a huge piece of this case. And on Monday, we got the videos out to the press, out to you guys, which we appreciated you putting it out there. And we knew we were going to get information back from the community. It's what we expect and what we get normally on our cases. So a video of that quality that showed him and the distinctive qualities of this criminal, we knew we were going to get some information back, and we did. And we got a lot of information back.
2 more people were also shot. 1 remains in critical condition. Rogers was arrested in Washington, D.C. He awaits to be extradited to Prince George's.
Some tense moments at Joint Base Andrews this morning after someone mistook a drill for an active shooter situation. It started just after 9 this morning. CTV's Byron Scott was there.
This all began this morning. The base had planned a no-notice active shooter drill for the base this morning. But someone on the base saw one of the participants and thought it was a real shooter, notified the personnel here, and the base went on lockdown. And this went on for a few hours. The base was on lockdown again because no one quite sure what was going on. Again, a drill was planned, but someone reported seeing someone who was armed, and so they thought it was a real-life situation. Now, there were heavily armed airmen and canine units throughout the base, mostly in the area of the Malcolm Grove Medical Facility there. They were, during the morning, leading groups of people out, some of them having their hands in the air, because, again, it was very tense here at the Air Force Base. But again, it was a miscommunication before the exercise began, and the base reacted accordingly. You know, in this day and time, we say if you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. So that person did notify the authorities here. Now, no one was injured, and the base reopened its gates here at 10:40 this morning. At the Air Base, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Today's incident follows one last month when a woman walked into the visitor center saying she had a bomb strapped to her chest. It turned out to be a hoax.
Correctional officers speak out against the governor, saying Larry Hogan isn't hiring enough people in their positions to keep Maryland prisons safe. AFSCME, the union representing the officers, held a press conference this morning just outside of the state prison in Jessup.
We know, though, that they plan to hire 15 officers in an academy between July and September this year. 15. Not enough. That's 9 in Baltimore, 3 on the shore, 2 in Hagerstown, and 1 in Cumberland. That's a big 15 in the face of 1,000 officers down. We know the department is hiring. We know that. We're aware of it. They're just doing a very bad job at hiring officers.
Governor Hogan has not hired a class of more than 12 cadets in Western Maryland in over 8 months.
Shame on Hogan. Shame.
Many officers in Hagerstown do not believe that Governor Hogan cares about their lives or their safety, or the safety of his correctional officers and detainees.
The union says the state needs to hire another 1,000 correctional officers and is down 422 employees just since January of 2015.
In the first 3 months of 2016, 383 people died of overdoses in Maryland. This latest data from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene shows the challenge of reducing drug and alcohol abuse statewide. Last year, there were 1,260 fatal overdoses, almost double the number from 2010. More than 350 deaths from prescription opioids, despite efforts at the federal and state levels to tighten control over highly addictive painkillers. Prince George's and Montgomery counties have already seen 15 fatal heroin overdoses in 2016. Health officials say the high potency of these illegal drugs are making them dangerous.
In substance abuse, alcohol deaths, and I know that heroin-laced opioids are something that the state have been addressing, and the governor has a special task force ran by the lieutenant governor to address those. And certainly the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene has been committed to and have been partnership in running and dealing with that issue, and certainly coming up with plans to address that across the state, not just here in Prince George's County, but certainly access to substance abuse treatment, access to care are critical to address those issues. And certainly,
there have been 39 drug and alcohol-related deaths in the National Capital Area so far this year, 19 of those in Prince George's County. Well, meantime, a fourth patient-centered medical home opens in the county. Family and Medical Counseling Service Incorporated will serve residents in the 20743 zip code. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held today to mark the grand opening of the facility, which will improve access to quality care in the Seat Pleasant area. Officials say it's part of an ongoing effort to reduce disparities and improve the quality of life in underserved communities.
From what I've seen, from what I've read, the studies that have been done, there is a tremendous need for additional healthcare services in this community. We already know that there are high rates of chronic diseases. We don't know what the incidence rate is specifically for HIV and HCV, but we won't be surprised to find those rates high. Our providers are very capable of addressing all of those illnesses.
The Maryland Department of Health and Mental Hygiene awarded Prince George's a $4 million grant to open the medical facility. Doctors there will start seeing patients in mid-July. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas.